Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're enjoying the series so far of checking out all my different guitars that I have in my collection. It seems like the last video got a bit of traction and I honestly didn't think it was going to get that many views, and it's really blown me away. So thank you. Today we're doing a 1957 Les Paul Custom Shop Black Beauty. This is my most recently acquired guitar. I think I got it earlier this year through Marketplace, of all places, and I found a really good deal on it. Which is quite interesting. So I'm going to go quickly through my journey with Gibson style guitars, I guess. So I don't have much experience with Gibson models, really. I grew up playing an Epiphone Dot, so that was the closest thing I had to something like that. So that's what I played predominantly when I was learning. And then after that I moved on to a Jaguar about 10 years ago or so. And then at one point or another I had a Duesenberg Star Player, and that was really cool too. That had a humbucker and a P90, and I really liked that guitar. But it just didn't feel like a forever sort of guitar, so I had to get rid of that one. But it sounded great and it played amazing, so I don't necessarily think you should sleep on those guitars. It's just, it wasn't for me. I'm a bit more of a, I like the softer feel of Nitro personally, not that plasticky kind of feel of Poly. After that I bought an Eastman SB56, which is a gold top P90 equipped guitar, and I really like that as well. That sounded really good, and Eastman guitars are fantastic. I probably end up getting one of those semi-hollow body ones, like a 330 type, but by Eastman. I think that will be a future purchase potentially. But yeah, so I had the SB56, and I really wanted to put a lead trem on it, like a Duesenberg tremolo system on it, except the tail piece is too close to the bridge, so you can't do that. So I sold that guitar, and I was like, no, I'm a Fender guy, I'm not even going to worry about Gibsons. And then eventually I started gassing for one of these, out of nowhere. It was either this, a Duo Jet by Gretsch, or a Broadcaster by Gretsch. They were kind of the options that were floating around. Or a vintage Les Paul Deluxe, so like one of those older Les Pauls from the 70s with mini humbuckers, because I thought that they might be a smaller step from a single coil to humbucker world. Cool, so let's hear some sound bites and then I'll get back to you with some more information. So why did I choose this guitar? So when I was looking for humbucker equipped guitars or thicker sounding guitars, I wasn't thinking of like the gain world. I was actually kind of thinking of clean sounds. I really like the rich, deep, woody kind of sounds you can get from some Les Pauls or some Duo Jets with that hollow body sort of vibe on. So I chose this because it's all mahogany solid body, and it's a bit more of that vintage kind of spec. So I thought I couldn't live without a trem, but the more I play this and everything about it, I've actually enjoyed not having a trem. I've actually come back all the way the other side, and not having the trem means I have to do other sorts of things to get some sort of movement in my playing, I guess. which is kind of fun. So what are the specs of this guitar? I haven't actually weighed it, but it's pretty hefty. It's not light, but I would never go play this one out live. This is definitely a sit-at-home sort of guitar for me. I'm too nervous about headstocks falling off and all that sort of mumbo-jumbo. So this is from 2003. It's got a lovely thin nitro finish all over it. It's solid mahogany, and it has a lovely ebony fretboard with pearloid square, oh, they're abalone, I don't know what they are. Some sort of swirly white inlay, I guess. It's got a 50s round C-shape neck. It's quite chunky. It's definitely more of a handful than any of my other guitars, but I'd say it's only slightly thicker than my vintage Jaguar, for instance. It's not so big that I can't like grip around the neck and stuff, but it's definitely big enough to feel like you're clumping a whole piece of wood, I guess. The binding on this guitar is surprisingly not annoying. Normally I find the tops of bound guitars quite flat and frustrating, but since of the nature of the C being so smooth, it kind of just, by the time it gets to the binding, it's kind of almost flat, so you don't really notice the binding at all. The pickups that are in here are the original custom buckers. I'm tempted to eventually maybe try some Curtis Novak pickups. I've got his pickups in another guitar and they sound phenomenal, so I'm pretty sure maybe one day I'll change them, but for now they sound good. I like that it's kind of worn a little bit. It's got a little bit of the lacquer on the binding gone over here, and the neck's kind of getting that cloudy kind of used look to it. There's a few dents on the back, as you can imagine. I've taken the pick guard off, and I've top wrapped the strings to make it feel like my Fender guitars and give it a bit more of that slinky sort of feel. I also just liked the idea of having the tailpiece all the way down to the body as opposed to raised up for some reason. I don't know, I just think it looks better aesthetically, and you know, maybe it gives it some of that mojo. Who knows? Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed all the sound demos and all this little information I gave about this Les Paul. If you have any other questions that I didn't cover, or you just want to ask me something, feel free to leave it in the comments and I'll get back to you. If you want more gear demos of certain stuff, let me know. Otherwise, if you feel like it, please subscribe, and then you'll be notified if I do another video of this sort of type, I guess. Thanks very much, and I'll see you later.